Hey guys! Oh my gosh, welcome back to GoBioEng. I'm so glad you're here. And hey, if you're new, hi, hello, welcome. So, GoBioEng is this super fun biomedical engineering learning space where we break down medical technology, clinical engineering, medical devices, healthcare systems, study resources, career pathways, basically all the things into simple, practical, actually useful explanations. Before we jump in, do me a tiny favor, okay? Just hit that like button. Share this video with another biomedical engineering learner because we all know at least one. And definitely subscribe to GoBioEng for more explainers and all the career-focused stuff you're going to love. Oh, and if you want the full written article or you're in the mood to dig through related resources, everything is waiting for you at gobioeng.com. Super easy. All right, let's get into today's article. I've been excited about this one. Most of us first learned about electrons, X-rays, electric fields, magnets, and energy back in school physics class. A linear accelerator brings all those concepts together in a single machine now found in hospitals, used to treat cancer. A Varian-medical linear accelerator, or LINAC, is a device designed for external beam radiotherapy. Its role is to generate high-energy radiation, shape it with care, verify the patient's position, and deliver the planned dose to the treatment area while keeping exposure to healthy tissue as low as possible. Put simply, a LINAC takes electrons, increases their energy, uses them to create radiation, shapes that radiation, and directs it toward the patient with precise control. If you studied basic physics, some of this may already sound familiar. Charged particles respond to electric fields. Moving charged particles bend under magnetic fields. X-rays are high-energy electromagnetic radiation. Energy moves from one system to another. In school, these ideas may have lived in separate chapters of a textbook, but in a radiotherapy department, they converge inside a single, safety-critical medical device. To understand a LINAC, it helps to view it from different angles. For the patient, it's a large machine rotating around the treatment couch. For the radiographer, it's a system for patient setup, imaging, and treatment delivery. For the clinician and the medical physicist, it's a platform for precise dose delivery. To the engineer, it's a complex blend of electronics, radio frequency power, vacuum systems, cooling systems, mechanical motion, imaging, software, interlocks, and safety controls. That's what makes radiotherapy engineering so compelling. A LINAC isn't just one machine, it's a synchronized treatment platform. The basic beam principle works like this. First, the machine generates electrons. Then those electrons are accelerated using radio frequency electric fields inside a component called an accelerator waveguide. And as they move through the system, the electrons are guided and focused with precision. In photon treatment mode, high-energy electrons are sent toward a heavy metal target. When those electrons slow down suddenly, X-rays are produced. Those X-rays are then shaped by components like jaws and the multi-leaf collimator before they reach the patient. This ties directly to basic physics. An electric field accelerates charged particles, a magnetic field changes their direction, and high-energy electrons striking a heavy target create X-rays. But clinical radiotherapy is more than just generating X-rays. The goal is to deliver the right dose to the right place, in the right shape, at the right time. That's why a LINAC needs more than a beam source. It needs imaging, positioning, dose monitoring, safety checks, software control, mechanical accuracy, and proper documentation. Now, let's look at the accelerator in simple engineering terms. A linear accelerator works by using radio frequency energy to push electrons forward. Think of it like pushing someone on a swing. If you time the push just right, the swing gains energy. If the timing is off, the push doesn't help much. In a LINAC, that push comes from radio frequency electromagnetic fields, and the moving objects are bunches of electrons. Timing is critical. The electrons have to reach each accelerating section exactly when the electric field is pointing in the right direction. If they don't, the acceleration becomes weak or unstable. The accelerator's waveguide is kept under vacuum because any collision with air molecules would make the electrons lose energy and scatter. A stable beam depends on a clean, controlled path. The RF system supplies microwave power, often using components like a magnetron or a klystron, depending on the machine. Steering and focusing systems guide the electron beam, keeping it aligned as it moves toward the bending magnet and the treatment head. From an engineering point of view, beam generation depends on several systems working together: electron injection, RF power, vacuum integrity, beam steering, cooling, control software, and safety monitoring. Each part has a role, and without one, the process begins to break down. Now let's walk through the main parts of a Varian-style LINAC. The electron gun produces the initial electrons. The RF system provides the microwave energy used for acceleration. The accelerator waveguide is where those electrons gain their energy step by step as they move forward. The bending magnet shifts the direction of the electron beam, guiding it onto the correct path. And finally, the treatment head contains the components that shape and monitor the beam. These include the target, ion chambers, jaws, the flattening filter or the filter-free path, and the multi-leaf collimator. The ion chambers monitor dose rate, beam symmetry, and other beam-related signals. These are essential safety and quality components, because treatment must stop if the beam isn't behaving as expected. The jaws define the basic radiation field. The multi-leaf collimator, or MLC, shapes the beam with more precision, using thin leaves that move to form complex treatment patterns. The gantry is the rotating structure that carries the treatment head, allowing beams to enter the patient from different angles. The couch supports and positions the patient, and even small movements matter because radiotherapy depends on accurate alignment. The imaging system verifies patient position, using tools like KV or MV imaging, portal imaging, or cone beam CT. Each component has both an engineering function and a clinical purpose. Beam energy determines how dose is deposited in tissue. Mechanical accuracy determines whether the planned beam aligns with the patient's position as intended. Imaging ensures the treatment delivered matches the patient's anatomy on the day of therapy. Software systems and interlocks influence whether the treatment can proceed safely. Documentation supports traceability, maintenance, quality assurance, and overall patient safety. Now consider the patient experience. A patient may watch the gantry rotate around them. They may hear mechanical movements, cooling systems, or imaging devices at work. They might feel the couch shift slightly during setup. Typically, they do not feel the radiation beam itself. For the patient, the key priorities are comfort, clear communication, confidence in the process, and an accurate setup. This is an important reminder for engineers. A machine that looks impressive to us can feel intimidating to a patient. Good engineering isn't only about performance, it also supports safety, reliability, trust, and a calm clinical workflow. For radiographers, the LINAC is a setup, imaging, and treatment delivery system. Their work includes patient positioning, immobilization, image acquisition, image matching, couch shifts, treatment delivery, patient observation, and communication with the wider clinical team. Radiographers work closely with patients during treatment. They need the machine to be reliable, understandable, and safe to operate. For clinicians and medical physicists, the LINAC is the final delivery point of the treatment plan. Clinicians focus on the tumor target, organs at risk, fractionation, treatment intent, and patient outcome. Medical physicists focus on beam quality, dose measurement, output constancy, imaging accuracy, mechanical precision, commissioning data, quality assurance, and safety interlocks. For engineers, the LINAC is a safety-critical electromechanical and software-controlled system. And that matters, because the engineering role is not just about fixing faults. It stretches across preventive maintenance, calibration support, fault diagnosis, component replacement, hardware checks, software checks, documentation, managing uptime, and knowing when to escalate if patient safety or treatment accuracy is at risk. A strong radiotherapy engineer needs technical skill, yes, but also judgment. They need to recognize when a fault is minor, when it disrupts clinical workflow, and when it could compromise treatment safety. This is why radiotherapy engineering sits at the intersection of biomedical engineering, electronics, mechanical systems, software, physics, and patient care. 1. Clear. Way to understand a LINAC is to follow the beam chain. The electron gun produces electrons. The RF system supplies energy. The waveguide accelerates the electrons. The bending magnet directs the beam, and the target produces X-rays in photon mode. The jaws and the multi-leaf collimator shape the beam. The imaging and positioning systems confirm the patient's setup. Then the machine delivers the planned treatment under monitored and controlled conditions. At every stage, there are checks, tolerances, and safety systems. This is what separates a clinical treatment machine from a simple physics demonstration. The engineering has to be repeatable, measurable, documented, and safe. For biomedical engineering students, the LINAC stands as a clear example of systems thinking. It brings together electronics, electromagnetics, mechanical design, control systems, imaging, software, risk management, human factors, and clinical workflow. And it shows that biomedical engineering isn't just about designing devices, it's about understanding how technology behaves inside real healthcare environments. If you want to prepare for radiotherapy engineering, start with the basic beam generation pathway. Understand how electrons are produced and accelerated. Learn why RF systems and waveguides matter. Study medical imaging and patient positioning. Learn about quality assurance and safety checks. Practice reading technical documentation. Build confidence with electronics, mechanics, sensors, and troubleshooting. And most importantly, be ready to explain technical problems clearly to many kinds of people: engineers, radiographers, physicists, clinicians, and sometimes patients. That communication skill matters because radiotherapy is team-based. No one person sees the whole system alone. A LINAC works because many professional groups trust the same machine from different angles. The engineer's job is to help keep that trust justified. So, okay, let me just wrap this up for you real quick because it's actually kind of awesome. So, a Varian-style LINAC, yeah, that big sci-fi looking thing in the treatment room, it's basically this medical linear accelerator we use for external beam radiotherapy. Super cool stuff. It takes electrons, zooms them up to crazy speeds, turns them into radiation beams, shapes those beams all fancy, checks where the patient is, and then delivers the treatment exactly the way the plan says. Like precision on top of precision. And it's got everything: RF power, the vacuum waveguide, the bending magnet, the treatment head, gantry, couch, imaging systems, ion chambers, all the interlocks, all the cooling, plus the software and all the documentation that nobody wants to read, but absolutely has to exist. Now, here's the fun part. To the patient, it's just the machine, the thing that gives them their treatment. To the radiographer, it's this whole setup and delivery system they've totally mastered. To the clinician and physicist, it's like this beautifully tuned dose delivery platform. To the engineer, it's a big safety critical engineering marvel that they're constantly babysitting. And for biomedical engineering students, oh man, it's like the perfect example of how all that school physics, all that engineering design, and actual real-life healthcare just smashed together in the best possible way to help real people. Pretty cool, right? Hey, so that brings us to the end of this GoBioEng audio article. Can you believe it? I know, right? We just flew through that thing. And seriously, if this helped you understand the topic more clearly, which I really hope it did, go ahead and like the video. Share it with another biomedical engineering learner who could use the boost, and subscribe to GoBioEng for more of that super practical, down-to-earth biomedical engineering content. We've got plenty more where that came from. Oh, and don't forget, you can read the full article and dive into all the related study resources, career pathways, experience notes, all that good stuff over at GoBioEng.com. It's like a little treasure chest for bioengineering nerds like us. All right, thanks so much for listening, seriously, and I will see you in the next GoBioEng audio article. Can't wait.